Yeah, everyone, this is Thermite, and this is Souboutei Must Be Destroyed. Right now, chapters 38 to 53 are out. I don't think I'm going to do them all in this video, though. Like, I'll probably split it up by volume. We'll see. Um, I did notice that Death Toll Scans has picked up the series. I assume, because Stake has really been pushing for Souboutei to happen, for it to consistently come out to the point of doing Stake in the Mud, which is literally just him, with occasionally some collaborators. Like, because of that, I assume he joined Death Toll in order to do this with an actual group. So I'm excited to see how that is. Like, these releases seem to be, like, very regular. Like, once every day, or every 2 days, every 3 days. This is 4 days. Like, that's ridiculous. I know he's, like, done a lot of backed up translations, so it probably just comes down to, like, is there a group that is capable of, cleaning the pages and typesetting it all and, like, putting it out properly? The Stake in the Mud release was completely fine, too, so, like, it'll be interesting to see what Death Toll is doing with it. Like, is it more or less the same, just with better typesetting, or is it, like, actually split pages? We'll see. Because I don't really care about most of the changes that they could possibly make. Typesetting would be nice. The typesetting that Stake does is a bit rough sometimes, but apart from that, it's been perfectly serviceable. And I do like that aesthetic of a scanlation that is not so good that when you pick up the official release, you'll think, oh man, I sure wish I was reading the scans. Like, there is something charming about the idea of a scanlation that is, like, clearly meant to be surpassed by the official release whenever it comes out. Anyways, that's enough of that. Also, big thanks to Stake for sending me the zip files for the last couple of volumes that he did, or chapters that he did on his own. Big thanks to you if you are out there and watching this video. So, last time, in case you don't remember, we were getting the big backstory. The story of the the plane full of people that were sucked across the galaxy, apparently, by these invaders, and this mysterious being called him, who saved them, who allowed them to live on him, who takes the form, most notably, of Seiichi's grandfather. But, like, he is the beloved person for every single group of people there. I mean, you've read this far. I don't need to recap this. I'm recapping it mostly for myself. It's been a while. Oof. A frenzied black sky with gale winds exceeding 300 kilometers per hour, and a frenzied black... Huh. Oh, okay. See, I thought this was... Yeah, a planet with a very similar body to the ocean body of his planets. I thought this was going to be his planet, just, under attack. But okay. I mean, they are stealing his body, so I guess this could be him. Like, it actually could. Okay, so yeah, we've seen these guys before. I don't know if we've seen these guys before, though. The mores. We probably have, but gosh, maybe not with this level of detail. I do love this aesthetic, by the way. Like, the aesthetic of a clear ship slash weapon slash, artificial thing, quote unquote, but it's all done with organic parts. Like, not even like, a tank made by stapling together animal parts, but an animal that evolved to look like a tank. Like, it's that convergent evolution, but instead of it being evolution that that's convergent with, like, another life form, it's convergent with, like, a ship or something. That's such a wild concept. Okay. No matter how big the mores are, no matter how loud their screams bellow into the silence of space, they're hopeless. That's because on that planet, on his planet, the humans were on his side. And I do love they all can do the spiral thing, but when we see it, it's usually Seiichi. Like, it's his thing because throughout the series, we've seen him do it the most. Everyone else gets, their imaginary thing. Like, we've got the pick here, the scissors, like, there's a scythe, or is that, there's another term for that, but I don't quite remember. Got a sword, got it, like, a proper butcher knife. Oh, this is so cool. It's been 45 years since the war began. Seiichi's appearance has become recognizable, so he's finally the way he is right now. Like, his hair's gotten all long and scraggly and white. But, like, crucially, he's remained the same biological age, I guess, apart from the hair. Also notably, the hair is, like, it really is that scraggly. Like, it's not that when he crash landed on, on Earth, it's not like it's badly kept. Like, that is the way it looked even in the Prime, like, when he was in the Resistance. Okay, at this point, the humans become one with his liquid body on a biological level. Okay, so that's how it works. So it's not that they're controlling their own bodies, but rather they're communicating to him and he's the one changing shape. Like in that case, is he still there with Seiichi? Like right now, whenever he does the drill arm thing, is Seiichi doing it himself? Like is he gone or is he there like still with him at all times? I mean, I guess he must be there because I assume he's the one facilitating this whole flashback thing. Because Seiichi's splashing water on everyone. I doubt Seiichi has the power to transfer his memories. That's got to be him. Though if they're the same, like if they become one, then maybe. Hmm. Ah. By the way, I'm probably, as with most things in Souboutei, and especially this like sci-fi arc, there's going to be a lot of amazing art, and I'm not going to say that's amazing art, but it's amazing art. Like, I do want to get better at pointing out when things are mind blowing slash like things that should have taken a ridiculous amount of time to draw, but there's so much in Souboutei. I've got to constrict it to just the most standout moments, or else I'll never get through a chapter. The long light blue hair, that sharp look in his eyes. Oh my god, it's light blue because it's him. It's his body. Like I assume the ocean is light blue, and now that's his liquid in the hair. Ah, okay. And they can like psychically communicate too. Oh, I love how distinct they all look. Like Seiichi definitely does do the drill thing the most. It's his thing. Whereas Makoto here is much more of a uh okay, so it looks like he's doing more of a whip thing, sort of. Like whip slash tendril. Oh man. Gosh, that is so cool. Like, they are obscenely powerful. Also, I Souboutei really can't get an anime, can it? I don't think it's possible. I mean, I've heard bad things about Karakuri Circus. I think I've said that before in other videos, so I'm not going to rehash it, but this art style especially, like, it is so fluid, and, like, the sci-fi arc especially, but even before that, like, in Souboutei with all the psychics using their powers, there's this powerful aesthetic to Souboutei that I find, like, it'd be very hard to do properly in animation. There is this thing that Toei does now, with Tiger Mask Double, and most recently with Dragon Ball Super. Like that's the real big highlights, where they'll have animators draw like very standard line arts, and then they use a digital filter to like change each frame. I don't quite remember how it works. Like it sounds super crazy, but like they did with Dragon Ball Super to make it look more like Dragon Ball Z, like to give the lines more weight without having to get people who knew how to draw like that. And for Tiger Mask Double, they used it to make the entire series feel like it was drawn with like ink. Like it has this very like flowy ink design sense to it. And I think like that still wouldn't help with the actual movement. Like there's so much implied movement in these couple of panels. And like, you can't use a filter to do that. But I think it would help with the sketchy Souboutei art style. Okay, so this is the last day of their long battle. It was after that when the humans found out the Black Planet's true intention. Okay. So the Black Planet is saying run, run, run. Hmm? Huh. This planet no longer undergoes core convection. Therefore, okay. Okay. I mean, so that's the main thing, though. Like, we're still unclear on why the invaders took the humans. Like, why was that a thing that they did in the first place? Like, that whole connection. I think I had a theory before about maybe it was him. Maybe he is the one who stole the humans, which is still a real possibility. But even if if it is straightforwardly the invaders did it, why? Also, why didn't they take more people? Like when the humans started to just live entirely on him. Like there's something weird there that doesn't quite line up. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty rough. It's pretty rough to see like all these people that you spent 45 years getting to know. That's the thing too. Like in like survival series where, a bunch of people land on an island or they get sent to another world and then they start being killed off slowly. Like it is heart-wrenching. It can be incredibly powerful. But the fact that they don't know each other that well, like that doesn't like that's the thing that makes me feel difficulty when it comes to trying to empathize with them. Like Battle Royale, for instance, like the original Battle Royale, the book, even there, like all the kids were classmates, but I rarely felt the fact that they were classmates because so many of them weren't really connected. Some of them were, some of them had their own little groups, but there wasn't that emotional connection. Whereas with this, like, even though again we're not seeing the connection that much, we still have that knowledge that it's not like they're strangers. It's not that they spent like a couple of years of high school together. They all spent 45 years together. I mean, if they didn't die first. I do like that though. Like people, they were all more scattered, more like different in the past couple of chapters, but now they're finally like all of them want to protect him. Like they all died one after another, but at the same time, they were all fighting for the same reason. Adults fought for the elderly, older people defended the children, and children protected the younger children. Oh man. Okay. Okay, so they're doing it. They're invading. So they used up all the water they had, like their water, and I assume also his water. Oh no, 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 no! It's entering some sort of sinkhole. They're running away into a hole in the ground. Okay, what is going on? I mean, I assume that this is how they end up. No, that can't be the case. I was gonna say like this is how they end up on Earth, but I think they have to do that on his planet. Like they have to go back because they like Seiichi. Like first of all, Seiichi's the only one who's going to be there. Like I assume like everyone else is going to be dead. Seiichi's the last survivor because we didn't see anyone else. But like Seiichi has to be on the plane. The plane is not here. And the plane's being invaded, I believe. Like there were weird creatures on it, and he was fighting for his life on it. It crashes into the ground, so it can't be here. Something else has to happen then. Yeah, like this does work fairly well. Even if I don't know the characters that deeply, I still get it. I still feel horrible for Seiichi. What is that? Oh boy. Oh, there's like 3 of them. Like there's one here, and one here. Oh boy. I mean, we're really just whittling them down. All right, so now it's just Seiichi. I'm not aware how they were able to do this, but this hole is connected to an incredibly faraway place. Okay, so, yep, so they've got the portal open. That place, yeah, okay, so, yep, it's Earth. They're doing it, they're gonna go to Earth. Then I saw it, that building, Souboutei. At the time, we all heard the voice of the invaders. Okay, well then. Also, it's not just Earth, it's specifically Souboutei. Complete evil, spreading malice everywhere. Danger, this place is danger. Oh man, this expression. Yeah, it was Souboutei. By the way, I do really appreciate that, like, I don't know how well it works all together. I mean, it's been fine for me, but I do appreciate that each of these chapters does like a quick intro of like, hey, this is what we're seeing, just so you know. It's not something that's strictly necessary for a lot of series, but for Souboutei, like, I think it does really help to root the audience. Because, like, it's not like this is something you'd forget, but I could definitely see, within a week or two, forgetting the specifics of what was going on at that point in Souboutei. Oh my god. I think, okay, that's amazing. Because like we've got the Seiichi like face from last chapter, and then right next to it we have the Rokuro face, like the the one he had right when he saw his father being killed. It's such a good contrast too, like the super hard shading and then the super pale face. Oh, it's perfect. Like it's really difficult to get across a feeling evil from just a location. Even if it is a haunted house, like it's tricky. So like these, especially Seiichi's actually, like, but both of these reactions really help to sell just how pure, raw, how evil Souboutei is. Yeah, if they reach Souboutei, a lot of terrifying things would happen. That said, like, we are saying specifically that Souboutei is already evil. Like, they can get to Souboutei most likely because of Soboutei's extreme malice. It's not like they're the ones that caused Souboutei to be evil. Which I think that's an important distinction to make. It means that, like, even if they do something to get rid of the aliens, even if, Seiichi manages to kill all of them, that doesn't mean that the threat of Souboutei is going to be gone. If anything, it's just a thing on top of the existing problem of Soboutei's being horrible. It also, like, it depends. We haven't seen the invaders mutate anyone. Like, they've been killing people, but they haven't, like, turned anyone. And we saw that, back in chapter 1, when Shin and Atsushi's, their friend got transformed, it was so very specific. Like, the fact that her body kind of mutated a little. Like, how do I put this? The characters we've seen thus far, like, especially in the, it is not a psychic phenomenon chapter, like, that's where we started to lean into this idea of, it's not really psychic or magical, it's aliens. But that is all predicated on this. And they didn't know that, like, it's very possible that, like, the people we've seen being possessed and controlled by the aliens, like, they haven't really mutated that very much. As far as I can recall, I might be wrong. But it seems like it is fundamentally different from what happens to Shin and Atsushi's friends. Which means that I assume there are multiple, like, sources of mutation within Souboutei. Like, you've got the paintings, and I assume the paintings, pull multiple duties. They can cause horrible things to happen no matter what. But the nature of the horrible things, I think, has to be different. Because also, this was the first time. We don't know exactly when. If this happened, like, no, it can't be. Because the invaders haven't gone to Earth yet. At all. And when they go to Earth is presumably when Seiichi is also going to Earth. Because, like, it's just him. He's the only one left. He has to do it around now. Like, whether he goes back to his planet and gets the plane, or whether the invaders took the plane at some point, like, huh. Yeah, so even he understands, like, this is bad. If they can't cite that structure, then just as you humans have become unimaginably strong by mingling with me. Okay. That's also a neat way to put it. Like, it's not just that, they'll teleport to Earth. It's specifically that, like, their power will be amped by Souboutei. Like, Souboutei is going to be, their humans. Or rather, I guess the invading species, will be, humans, and Souboutei is going to be him in this analogy. Okay. Okay, sure. In order to transport large mass one way, an equivalently massive exchange is required. Okay. Oh, also, he's still around. I thought they left him behind. Or I thought he wasn't gonna come back, like, like the others. So this opens up the possibility of sending in, like, we know that the plane has some of the invaders on it when it ends up on Earth. But not that many. So maybe that's what they're going to do. Like, they're going to go through with the plane in order to, put through a ton of mass all at once. That uses up the teleportation, and then the invaders either die on their planet, or they have to wait a long time before they can send anything else in. Okay, so it's just Seiichi Makoto now. I mean, again, Makoto is not in the series, so I assume he's gonna die here. When you pass through its body, I read its thoughts. Their surviving life forms are gonna make one final lunge. Okay. Oh. Soon, due to the work of a great power on the opposite side, the gate will open. What could that be? Also, I do like this this aesthetic shot of, you've got Seiichi. Yes, it's not anything else. That is Seiichi, his drill thing. Grandpa, and then over here you have Makoto with his tentacle-y thing. Right. We still don't understand why the invaders abducted you initially, but we're glad you didn't fall into their hands. I think that is super cool. Like, the humans fought this entire time to protect, him. And so now that's the end. Now there's really no hope. He's going to, give up everything he has in order to protect Earth. Like, they are a good pair. He has been nothing but good to them. I really like that. I like that. I mean, there could be some big betrayal twist later on in another arc, but I don't think so. I feel like this is this like wholly positive thing. I still lack the power to continue my existence, but the invaders are in the same position. Okay. So he's taking them out with him. So gates opening. In return, Seiichi Makoto, you will destroy the gate from the other side. All right, and the gate is Souboutei. We're coming into it. Okay, so in addition to the drill, like the last of his water, he also brought the plane. So now it's all set. Now I see how it's all gonna work out. Grandpa, that is the greatest word in all of space. Oh, I mean, I'm gonna miss Grandpa. He was so cool. Oh, okay. It was the bombing. I mean, I guess that makes sense, but it didn't occur to me because it seemed to do nothing. Like, it happened in close proximity to, the missing plane reappearing. But because nothing happened, like, because we saw it destroy Souboutei and then Souboutei just rebuilt itself, I assumed, well, it couldn't have done anything else. It wasn't that important. Clearly not. Clearly I was wrong. Oh boy, this is not Souboutei. I mean, we could just transition over to Catboy Cat Day, but I think I've got the other chapter somewhere else. All right. Yeah, I mean, it's a big order to get. Bombing Japan, bombing your own area by by the command of the prime minister and the defense minister. Yeah, okay. Okay, in truth, Soboutei's exterior wall is successfully demolished. Due to the force of the blast, air that's stagnating shot upwards. So it's the air. Okay, so that's also why they didn't specifically end up on Souboutei grounds. Like, they ended up flying through the air of Souboutei because the air was shot upwards. Okay, that also, like, I didn't even consider that, but I guess that also explains why it is that they can't use, like, why Seiichi specifically doesn't use his drill to just fly around, like why he has to take, trucks and stuff to move around. Okay, and Makoto's still here. I mean, because he's come this far, either we're going to get a really tragic death real soon, or Makoto is going to stay around as a character. Like, we just haven't seen him this whole time, but presumably he was around, I guess, maybe. Oh, okay. I mean, I was affected quite heavily by, this entire speech, but far, far in the past, there was a time when we too lived such a life. We had a body with warm blood flowing through our veins and changing emotions that sparkled brightly. I mean, it could just be, a general, we used to be a species much like humans, and then over the course of 2 billion years, we evolved. But maybe it's something more literal. I don't know how you can make it more literal, but maybe something. I've got an idea in the back of my head, but I don't want to, like, branch out super far on crazy crackpot theories. So we'll see. Thank you, alien friends. The one warm existence in space. In the vastness of space, just by living, breathing, and feeling, you are tremendously wonderful. God, like, he/Grandpa has been just the most wholesome person maybe in the entire series. I mean, we have Takaha, who is, giving him a big run for his money, but honestly, Taka isn't that self-sacrificing. Like, he is relatively self-sacrificing, but he's also a human being. Like, he does have his own little bits of greed, his own desires, like a normal person. There's nothing wrong with that. Whereas Grandpa has been completely giving of himself. He's too good, but, like, because he's too good, like, I don't think that means he's secretly evil. I mean, I think he's just establishing this baseline of ultimate good, ultimate belief in humanity. All right, I mean, he said it. You know what you gotta do now. Go destroy Souboutei. Oh boy, what is that? Ooh, the sound. Oh, I love that sound effect. Like, the sound effect itself is being twisted. Huh. Who is doing that, though? Because Like, is it Grandpa? It can't be though, because like it's metal. Like Grandpa can, he can replace the human body for the most part because humans are mostly water, but a plane is not mostly water. Destroy them. Destroy the gate. Destroy Souboutei. Destroy Souboutei. Souboutei must be destroyed. I've been talking recently about series with, interesting titles or titles that you can twist around in a bunch of different ways. I think Souboutei is really the opposite of that. In that Souboutei must be destroyed has one meaning, one very clear meaning, but it can be used so many times. Like it's always the same sentiment, but it manages to come up so many times without it feeling tiresome, without it feeling cheesy. Every time it is exciting. It is something you want to root for. Like, yeah, Souboutei must be destroyed. That is completely true. All right, that's the day our story began. Also, because the crash was more or less normal looking, like a bit destroyed, sure, but it wasn't twisted around. So the entire like it completely untwisted itself. So like, was that a thing that was being done to it physically, or was that like was that them traveling through the portal? Yeah, I mean that's the end of the flashback. That's all we've got, unless we're gonna look at Seiichi at the police station. Destroy, destroy, destroy. Souboutei must be destroyed. I kind of want to use this as my, I mean, I'd have to redraw this part, but I love the idea of using this as the, the thumbnail. The squad's all here. Oh, that explains it. So, if a candidature releases every 5 days on average, they'll go back to releasing undrawn chapters. Okay, that's a cool way of setting it up. Like, there's no downside to it. If if a death toll can't handle the fire, they, or how does that saying go? If they can't handle the heat, they have to get out of the kitchen. Don't Steak immediately gets the power to put out, the normal Steak in the Mud version if he needs to. But it seems like that's not the case. Like these releases have been extremely fast. Also, the quality has been great. Like I didn't bring it up at all, but like it is really good. I mean, it's like they're still joined, sure, that's fine. I honestly prefer that. Actually, are they joined? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Because I read everything as 2-page spreads either way. Like, it's very possible that I wouldn't have even noticed. But yeah, like, it looks good. The typesetting is fantastic. I haven't noticed any errors in the translation, so it's all good. It's all good. Could not ask for anything better. Oh boy, I'm gonna have to start thanking people who aren't just Steak. Wait, Steak. Why do you have your own image at the end of this? Like we have, the hey, we need people for this page, which is sure whatever. Then we have the death toll thing, which has everyone on it, and at the very end we also just have a Steak thing. It's, I mean, again, not complaining. It is weird though. I mean, it just stands out to me. Okay. Oh, and he's even pulling back all the water. I guess that makes sense. Like the water is a precious resource at this point. Yeah, all right. I mean, that's convincing. That sure is one heck of an argument. And then I met Rokuro. Hey, he even called him Rokuro, not Rakuro. Oh, okay. This is the oldest prime minister, I believe. Yeah, that makes sense. Like because they had the water just for that short amount of time, even though he pulled the rest out of them, it was enough to fix them all a little bit. That's really cool. Okay, so we are going to explain this. Thank goodness. Oh my gosh, that looks so cool. Like, oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. The aesthetics of this is, oh, it's perfect. Like, if this were a banner, I would definitely put this on my wall. Oh my gosh. I'm also getting weird. So, is it the travel or are the enemies doing something? In the passage between two different spaces, or two distant spaces, you can see the flow of time too, and stuff gets mushy. Okay. Oh, so I see. So he's going to be, I assume he's going to be sent out into the ether, and he's going to either end up in the distant past or the future, maybe. So, like, that's a good way to either have him do a lot of stuff, a lot of important stuff, perhaps, or to have him not do anything important until he immediately appears. I mean, there's also the possibility of he dies, but I doubt that's the case. Like, because of this, because of, where's Makoto? Why would Seiichi not, why would Seiichi leave out the fact that Makoto is dead? Like, there's no way he's dead because of that. Oh, too late for that. So rather go on alone. Oh, man. And again, like, I cannot get over the kinetics of these fights because, like, any character that has like extension powers or like whip powers, like there's always the danger of if you do stuff too many like complicated moves, it gets very difficult to track the motion. And I have not had the problem at all with Souboutei. Like unless it's a scene where you're not supposed to be able to track the motion, like the scene a couple chapters ago with all the people who turned into drills. Like obviously you're not supposed to understand when how each individual person hit the enemies. But like in something like this, it's so smooth. I won't die. I made a promise to Grandpa. I'll definitely destroy the gates. Okay, let's make another promise. We'll meet up at the gates. Okay. So we have a thing. Like at this point, Seiichi has never been to Souboutei. Like he's been saying for what, like 50 chapters now? Hey, let's go to Souboutei. I want to go to Souboutei. No one's let him go to Souboutei. So it might be as simple as he shows up and then Makoto shows up as well. So out of that air displaced from Souboutei, they just casually flew out. Okay. How else can I put this? Okay. Where is he going with it, though? Oh, I see. Yeah, taken by force to an unknown land, driven by force into the midst of war. Ah, like that is extremely impactful from such an old guy. Like you spent all that time fighting, and at the very you had no consent over it, or I guess not even consent. Like he did consent to it. He chose to fight for for him, but like the overall situation was not something he was supposed to be in. That's not something a child is meant to do. Ah. Yeah, I mean, it's a bitter pill to swallow. The best thing to do would be to say like, "Hey, Seiichi, you get to live your own life. You don't have to fight anymore. It's all good. Go live your life. Well, the government will, pay for pay for you for the rest of your life." But that's not the case. He has a power that can be used against Souboutei. He can't have peace right now. And even if they offered him peace, like he wouldn't take it. All right, they're doing it. Seiichi's going to Souboutei. All right, so I guess at this point, I can't stop reading until we see Seiichi go to Souboutei. I mean, I assume it's going to happen relatively soon. Boy, oh boy, that is one heck of an entourage. All right. Chapter 43, no response from Souboutei. Understandable. Like, they're going to call in, no one's going to call out because things are not going good in there. Oh, okay, so it's a cookie. That's really cool. Like, oh man. Once once Souboutei is properly destroyed, I know it's not gonna happen, but I'd be fine with like a straight volume of just Seiichi's slice of life. Seiichi hanging out with the prime minister, with the defense minister, with the former prime ministers. Like if you've seen Tonegawa, the Kaiji spin-off, I'd love to see a thing that is just that, but instead of underlings, it's just all former presidents, and then the one like normal person there is Seiichi. And yeah, I mean, I can understand that. Like, I don't know if they'll find a reason to bring him in, but like, realistically, why would Rokuro be there? Or why should he be there? I get why he wants to be there, but what can he do? Even Takaha, like, I guess we said that about Takaha, and it turns out that no, because of who Takaha is, because of his spirit, he's vitally important. But even with Rokuro, like, there's nothing there, really, apart from just he's mad because his dad was killed by Souboutei. I don't think that makes him a bad person at all, but I think it makes him a bad choice for someone who is supposed to destroy Souboutei. And I mean, this is also coming from someone who has a deep, deep grudge against Souboutei. Like, it's not like he doesn't understand the idea of wanting to destroy Souboutei. It's just he is a smart person. And like even this, he did find a way to destroy it. The way he found was Seiichi. Like that there I don't know why. Like I know he'll go in anyways, but he shouldn't really. I've been inside the place already. I can help Seiichi, but you don't know that much. You really don't. You were in there for like a minute. Hmm. Okay, Rakuro comes too. Oh. His face is covered in sweat. He's clenching his teeth. Okay. So if we combine that with this face, it wasn't meant to be a hardcore "I'll make your dreams come true" face. It's more of a "I desperately need you" face for some reason. Back when I saw Souboutei, I felt sick like I never felt before, and all the time I fought them. Evil, yeah, that's the thing. Like, Seiichi we could see him as just, a perfect weapon against the invaders. But as we've established, the invaders are not the main problem here. Like, they're a big problem, sure. They're the current problem. They are pretty clearly, the things that are trying to worm their way into the various people trapped into the paintings. But Souboutei is a main final boss on its own without any alien stuff. Also, I do think that some details probably been lost here. Like the general art style of Souboutei is very it's good for being scans. Like there's not a ton of detail in a lot of shots, but this is I'm not going to complain about it. This is I think something you have to deal with if you're reading a scanlation. It just makes me want the official release a lot because I want to see this in all its perfect glory. Especially the sky. Like the actual detail of Souboutei itself is pretty well preserved, but like the sky I think is where things are weirdly shadowed. Okay, so tanks are coming in. I remember like there is definitely a part of the plan that was, we just shelled the tar out of Souboutei. But I mean, it's not like it won't work. Like even the bombing worked, quote unquote. Like it did blow Souboutei apart. It's just that it immediately reassembled itself. So like this isn't necessarily a useless thing to do. Hmm. Oh boy. Imagine that. Imagine being a soldier. You're about to bomb a house on, on private property, and then the prime minister and the defense minister both show up in person for some reason. That's a bit terrifying. Oof. Yeah, it's empty. I mean, not empty per se, but you're not going to be able to talk to most of the people here. Jeez. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rising from this hallowed grounds, the vast, sprawly mansion, master of the town, the libertine, and the portrait artists. I'm still like, we know that the creator of the mansion was the portrait artist. I believe we know that. The question is like, do all these adjectives refer to the portrait artist, or are these separate people, perhaps? I believe it's, they all refer to just him because, if it didn't, we would definitely see more silhouettes. We'd see more people, but you never know. At Souboutei, he hung his hat and made his elegant farewell. We've seen this girl before, I believe, as well, but I don't think we know anything about her. Oh, we've got Pyro Mary again. I don't remember the names of Josephine. Josephine is the lady. What was the name of her husband though? Hmm. Okay, I sure hope they kill him. I really hope they kill him. I don't like his character as a character archetype at all. And we've seen his backstory too, so I think we've gotten all we need out of him. I think we can safely kill him. All right. I mean, realistically, I don't think we need to. I mean, first of all, we haven't saved anyone who has been fully possessed before. As far as we know, that's not possible. If someone's in the process of being possessed, I think you can save them. But it seems like once you're fully possessed, that's it. That's game over. All right. So your thing is pyrokinesis, but you gotta hit me first. All right. Hmm. Yeah, like now that we understand the invaders a bit more, now that we know they kind of have a similar MO to him, like now this part makes so much sense. Like they are the humans, like they're literally humans being possessed and being given extra power, extra gifts for the sake of protecting the invaders. Now, I don't know that much about Buddhism slash. I mean, I know a fair little bit about the philosophy of Buddhism, but I don't know a lot about practical like practice of Buddhism, and I also don't know a lot about fictional use of Buddhist powers apart from just general blessings and stuff. So my big question is like, is he supposed to be enlightened at all, or is he drawing power from an enlightened person, from a Buddha? Because if he's drawing power from somewhere, like if this is a D&D like sorcerer sort of situation, then I find it real weird that any like deity would allow him to do, to use their power, especially in this state where he's clearly being possessed by something. If he himself is just enlightened, then I guess that also works. Though he doesn't feel very enlightened. So, nice like recap of the entire squad. We got Yadarigi, we've got Kurenai, there's Professor Augusto, Floors in the back, and we've got our big boy. We got Takaha, the MVP. Don't call him the powerless navigator. Yeah, I do agree with him a lot, actually. Like, you wouldn't want to make her and I like not be able to react immediately if something happens. And then Professor Augusto, like his reversers are on his arms. Like he shouldn't be carrying anyone. I like even with this, like you still have to use your arms a bit to carry. Like that'd be a bad idea. It just makes sense. I guess you could saddle her with like on Yadarigi. Like Yadarigi has military training, so maybe she could do it. But that also seems bad. Like why not have Taka do it? I wonder though. Like it doesn't seem like he loves her that much from what we've seen. Like there's not a whole lot to indicate that he's lying here, but I want to believe that he's lying. Okay, there we are. That explosion wasn't from the bomb squad though. Yeah, that fire's color. I've seen that flame before. Okay, yeah. Because like we don't really have any other distinct groups, and then why would Pyromary be using the explosive charges instead of just fire? My wife Josephine prefers muscular men. I love this pose. And like this shot here too. I really liked three of them. Again, I don't remember his name, but I think like they have this really cool dynamic where you have Josephine, you have Pyromary, like always in her lap, and then you have, her husband as the big strong boy who's like this hard, like distinct difference. Like he contrasts with them in such a perfect way. They are a really good group. They are this great pairing by themselves. Okay, so like she straight up cannot like shoot out fire quickly enough at all. Man, what deity is giving him this power? This is a bit much. Oh, did it just graze him? Hmm. Okay. Boy, oh boy. Takaha, that's a crazy move. Like, Pyromary was about to shoot fire, and Takaha just jumped in with his entire body. Like, I mean, I'll give him that. He's got moxie. He's got guts. Oh, this face is so good. Like, I hope his face isn't too swollen over time, because I think that would be, not the greatest look for him. But like this shot where like he's bruised, he's dirty, he's bleeding out of his nose, like, oh, it's so good. Well, I don't think Buddha's helping you here. Oh my gosh. Also, like we don't know much about Josephine. Like we know that she follows her husband's, lead. But I do like this entire like sequence for showing that yeah, she can fight as a part of a team. Like she pulled back the fire when she saw that Taka was jumping in, and then even here, like she prepped the fire, uh, didn't quite work, and then she waited. And I also do like this is one of those fights where everyone got to to put in a hit. I guess except for Yadarigi, sure, whatever, but everyone else did something. Oh, wait, what? Takaha? What happens? Oh, okay. So he got thrown. Oh, that's so subtle. Like, because it's just his foot sticking up, I assumed he just like landed, but I guess not. I guess he fell over an edge. Oh boy. Oh, they're in the area with the crazy architecture. In Souboutei. The like mini city of sorts. I remember this like sloping area. All right, chapter 45, the Kirita sisters banquets. Okay. I mean, we know the sisters are not in a good way, but I don't think I remember the specifics. Like, were they all possessed? What is going on? I mean, like, they're not possessed because, their eyes are blank, but that's just how they work. That's just how the power works, sure. But they feel so weird. Like, why are they giggling? Why do they feel like such mean girls? Like, mean girls in the movie sense. That's so weird. Like, what is their dynamic? Okay, so they do have separate paintings. So she's the only one possessed, and also she has all the eyes, which is concerning if they like if they have to kill her and she doesn't send back the other eyes. Like, they're going to be pretty underpowered. Though I guess that also opens up the possibility of like, what if they suck the eyes out of her? Because like then they would each have three. So you could either do like a central eye thing, like the traditional three eyes, or I guess both of them could have like one eye with two eyes in it, or two irises, I suppose, is what I should be saying instead of just eyes. Wait, are they also Buddhists? I thought each of them had a completely different power source, but I guess I'm wrong. Reveal thyself, O wild god. So it's more like they do summoning, as opposed to more general like monk type powers. I mean, I know they can, they can see the future. They have the power of sights, but in addition to that, it seems like they do summons. Okay, string the pieces, child of thread. Really cool design. Also, cool idea for a power, like just using thread to bind them all together by the heads. Okay, reveal thyself, a wild guard. Child of hammer, child of shears. Okay. And we had Child of Thread here. Are they all based on people from his planets? Because we've got Thread, which was very much I was just saying his name so many times, but I forgot. Seiichi's bro. And then we've also seen a hammer and shears. I mean, I guess they were more like scissors, but you could call them shears. I mean, they could also just be like general weapons, but something about that seems really, really like chosen, like very specific. Okay. Oh man. I do like these designs a lot too, by the way. And like the thread it has that same glowy quality that like, there's no texture to it. It's the pure like absence of ink at all, like the pure white. Like that is also exactly what's Seiichi's bros thread was like. Okay, so we're playing by stand rules. If your summon gets hurt, you also get hurts. Though not quite in the same way, which is good, at the very least. Also, like, I don't know how many of them are going to survive, if any, so I'm not going to try and remember exactly which one is which. Like, Koteo is the one with the bow, Yokio, I don't know what I'd even call this, the one without the bow. Alright, so, I mean, that said, it's Takaha. He's pulled people out of paintings before, so I guess he's gonna save them. I do love that he is like he's been consistently underestimated this entire time, and now it's become a strength. Like it's a strength in the sense that he's not being taken out, even though he could easily be taken out here now. Because hey, what can you do? He's useless, right? All right, let's do it. Let's go in. Oh yeah, I just realized they don't know that he can do this. I mean, Kurenai knows that Taka saved him, but she's never seen him like go into a painting. God, this face. This is some peak Takaha. But all right, let's do it. Let's go in. Oh hey, Kurenai's going in too. That can be useful. Like not just in terms of sword power, but because like they have sort of a similar thing going on. Like she wasn't trained in a Buddhist way specifically, but like they're both female. They're both vaguely magical. Maybe they can have some bonding there, perhaps. Oof. Oh man, it is. it's rough seeing them like this, like as actual malnourished, starving children. Like, boo hoo. It's such a contrast from the way they act now. Like, they're so cocky, they're so self-assured. Huh. While we chill on that, they took us between places to train. But to train, even though they're devil children, why? Like, they're being, heavily mistreated because they seem to be evil, but at the same time, they're being taught to be maidens, I assume. Train for a psychic energy. They took us. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm not great when it comes to child abuse. It hurts. So why? Like, I mean, I assume it's got to be the power they have to like move their eyes. Sure, but why? That is an interesting anxiety to have. Like, with any other, like, not any other, but in a lot of other situations, even if the world, is completely against you, they say that you're evil or your race is evil or whatever, you can still say, like, no, that's not true. Like, I know what I am. I'm fairly sure, I'm not born from a devil. We're not from devils. But because they're orphans, they actually don't know. And their upbringing is so bizarre. Like, what would their barometer of normal even be at that point? You have to think like this. The me getting beaten is not the real me. The one in so much pain is a different me. Oh. Okay, so first of all, that recontextualizes basically every time they've laughed or smiled in the series. That explains why the two of the sisters were, why didn't they seemed to not care at all about their sister being taken over. Like, you have to show the complete opposite feeling from how the moment feels. Does that mean that even like when they first showed up, like were they terrified? Is that the case? This association though is very like real. It is something that actual abused children do, and it does explain so much about them now. It also seems very deliberate. Like, why would but why? Why? Okay, yeah. So their mom, at the very least, is fine. Okay. I was told you children can see weird things. And I can make good money training you as exorcists. Okay, so was this all a lie? Was he just like training them like under false pretenses? When missing at the age of 19 in Tokyo, then 10 years later, apparently Shosei had not ever been with a man. In that case, who was the father? So first of all, they have a very clear tie to Souboutei. Like, way more so than I anticipated. But yeah, so that's why. That's why they call them devil children. Because, like, what impregnated your mother? I mean, a lot of things can impregnate a person in 10 years. That's, that's a lot of time. But okay, I get it. Your father is a demon from within Souboutei. I mean, yeah, that's pretty anxiety-ridden. Like, I get it. I get it. I would probably also start splitting apart as a result of that. Jeez. Oh, and this looks so cool. Like the front, the sign that designates Souboutei slowly being warped into this weird creature. This this thing that spawned them all. Also, there's like a baby head in the back. That's a little weird. I mean, there's two of them and then the baby head. So, are we saying that the third one is the sister that got possessed? Maybe. My father was something inside Souboutei. We are the children of something. I mean, I get it. I completely see why, they're being broken up over it. Quite literally. They are literally broken up. I just realized. But I really like that because, like, unlike, Dr. Augusto and his group, like, the sisters have a clear reason to want to destroy Souboutei. Whereas Dr. Augusto is, like, I assume he's still going to be around. I assume anyone who survives is going to stay here until the end. But, like, he has less of a reason to be here because he knows now, like, it's not psychic. It's, it's a different type of supernatural. It's not the kind of thing he's looking for. Whereas the sisters are devoted specifically to destroying Souboutei. God, that's a design. I don't think there's a lot more you can say about it apart from that. Oof. You can do nothing but laugh. Come on, laugh. Laugh your heart out. Okay, and here's that, that classic Takaha saying the truth, saying what needs to be said. I mean, she's starting to close up, though. I mean, I guess she's doing the thing that Takaha did. The closing so quickly that you snap them off, then you vomit out all the pieces. Yeah, Be fast, just like when you rescued me, make Koteo see the light. But how? How in the world do you make Koteo see the light here? Like, sorry, I'm a little tired, but how? Because he barely knows her. Like, what advice can he give here that would, like, have her emotionally pull a 180? Yeah, I do appreciate that he's willing to say, like, yeah, it's not that easy. Oh, he was probably around to watch her go through this entire thing, so, he has been caught up on it. So it's a situation of like, yeah, like fighting it isn't even really useful. You gotta just have her defeat it herself. It's a persona situation. Point is, I gotta ask you something. What do you want to do from now on? I mean, it's a legit question. What do you want to do? It's got nothing to do with how terrible your past was. This is a matter of winning or losing. All right. I mean, all she can do now is like it's up to her. Taka can't do anything else. All he can do is just offer her questions. He can try to guide her, but she has to take the step. I mean, you can't do that. You can't have it never exist, but you can make it stop existing now. That too, actually. That's a good way of like having her shrink it down. Like it's not just I need to destroy Souboutei. It's specifically there is one thing in Souboutei that I want to destroy. It makes it more manageable. Even if you're terrified of Souboutei itself, like that's so much more doable. It's just a teeny little man. Don't you want to give him a piece of your minds? I really love this too because he didn't really manage to say this. Like he was mad when it happened to him, but like he had already gotten past his trauma, so it didn't hurt him that much. And then with Kurenai, he was more supportive, but now he gets to legitimately be mad, like actually angry about what Souboutei is doing. I don't know who it is, but something evil is here. We can't just leave it alone. We've got to destroy Souboutei. Yeah, I mean, that is the big 180. Like, it's no longer just a curse. It's something that is vitally necessary. There we are. She's pulling herself together. Ah. Okay, she's doing a first-time summoning. She turned my blades into a holy object to summon a god into. It looks like she has both of her blades, though. I mean, I guess it's the third one. It's the one she keeps in her hair. Oh, this is so cool. It's like she summons a Shikigami, sort of. That's a cool fighting style. I mean, we saw it before with the what was it again? The thread one. And also, this is a blade. Like, I mean, to be fair, we know Kurenai is not from his planets, but it does follow the theme, kind of. We saw someone who used a blade. I think I'm really grasping at straws there. I still want to establish that as a theory I have, but I don't have a lot of connective tissue there. Okay. Yep, they did it. They got out. What's that? Just one of his sketches? Okay. Well, they went right back in. Come and get me arms. But okay, that's cool. Like, it's still two people saving one person. It's a different two people. I mean, I think this could work out really cleanly, because, like, the sisters know each other incredibly well, so why not have one of them save the other? Ooh, we're too late. Okay, I mean, not yet. It hasn't fully healed over. Her eyes haven't gone, like, crazy. It's just she's about to be fully healed. Okay, so we are, like, not confirming, but, like, at the very least, she believes that, yeah, there's no way to save Kikiyo. So it's got to be at least two sisters versus one sister, or else they have no chance. Okay, if I send a wild god into those cracks, I can kill them from the inside. Okay, that's really cool. We're doing an actual combo move. Like, we've seen Taka and Kurenai fight together, but it's mostly just Taka being there and Kurenai fighting really well, but this is a legitimate combo. Something that houses your deepest emotions. I assume that's going to be his art. Like, we're going to see his art come to life, I suppose. I assume it's actually going to be the one we just saw here. Which is, it looks like a baby and Uatu? Like the Pokemon? Yeah, show me your drawing from before. All right, and she's already chanting without even seeing the drawing. Like, yep, I'm just going to go through the spell before I get all the materials. Okay, reveal thyself, O wild god. We're doing it. Okay. I mean, also, it just seems to be a random drawing too, so how is that going to help here? And I like it. Like, before, Kurenai was pretty worried because, even though she was saved by Taka, clearly she thought it was like a fluke, but now she gets it. She gets that he is powerful, like, he has a role to play. If anyone can break people out of these paintings, it's him. If that man hadn't been there for me, I would not have survived. Like, she can't say anything too specific, but she can believe in him. And I believe, he's worth her faith. Also, this chapter is called Takaha's God, which is quite the chapter title. My gosh. All right. So we're getting this thing. It looks like, still looks like a weird buff baby with a long head, and then Uatu. Is that what that's called? I think I'm thinking of Uatu the Watcher from Marvel, but I mean the Pokemon that looks kind of like a bird with one eye. Also, thanks for the recap. Yeah, so also this is literally the term, the description of a Shikigami. So, life energy or the power of soul. So, it can be any item. Like, presumably, it should be a sacred item, like Kurenai swords, or like an actual, like, statue of something. But I guess this will work in a pinch. Oh, man. I do love they maintain the same, like, shading. Like, anything that involves a drawing being, like, put into the real world, or, like, a series where there are two drastically different art styles, it's always a big hit. It always is extremely striking. It's not always good, but at the very least, it's always striking. Oh. Okay. So even that, like, that is actually part of her tactics. Specifically, like, yeah, it's so thin that it can squeeze in there. That also means that we can see, like, hopefully, assuming she sticks around and her sister sticks around, like, we'll be able to see more summons happen in Souboutei, which seems really cool. Also, could she animate, like, a painting in Souboutei? Like, one of the paintings that draws people in? Is that possible? Okay, we'll see who will be the victor. Those fishermen and my sister are the child of your art. I'm rooting for these guys. They're real weird, but hey, they did nothing wrong. They're the heroes here. Also, I think the term child of Takaha is much less cool than Takaha's god. Takaha, tell me the soul you put into that sketch. She really should have asked, a little bit before. What were you thinking when you drew it? Okay, not looking good. Okay, I get where he's coming from, but how does this tie into the arts? Clearly they're doing real well. Oh, that's beautiful. I never got to see beautiful foreign cities or go backpacking in India. And on the other hand, I didn't even read that many books, right? Whenever those well-read, experienced people told me to be quiet, I'd always look down and think to myself, knowing stuff and the experience of seeing and hearing stuff shouldn't be something you use to silence others, but something you use for yourself to make sure you're living the best you can. I can definitely understand that. I have, shamefully been in that situation myself where I've known something or I've done a thing and I've acted as if, the other person I'm talking to is an idiot for not knowing it, and I do regret that. Like, that is a fundamentally uncool way to live your life. Yeah, so, like, it is his ultimate release. He can do whatever he wants. I drew happy or funny things as much as possible, and those dumb drawings helped me laugh away the pain. That also, like, it does tie into the sisters, where, like, they were just doing the exact opposite. Like, they weren't laughing as a therapeutic thing. They were laughing to just be the opposite, to try and disassociate themselves from what they were really feeling. Whereas Taka is significantly more, like, healthy with what he's doing. He's doing things that are intentionally funny or intentionally dumb because they grant some level of power to him. They help him, feel good about himself. It is literally the power of arts. After that entire speech, like, I do love that too, because the speech doesn't feel like he's, like he's humble bragging or anything. It does feel like he genuinely doesn't think this is interesting or important or useful at all, but she sees through it. She understands. And that does make sense. Like, I do like that this is something that Taka doesn't like. Like, yeah, it goes against his own feelings of what people should be like, but it's a hard connection between the sisters. So, of course, if she laughs, her sister will laugh in turn. Like, it's and that's all it took to finally get rid of the fish, quote unquote. That's actually so, like, it's actually cooler than if she had just vomited them up with blood the way everyone else had. Also, the aesthetics of this. The aesthetics are just beautiful. You can't depend on Taka for much, and he has no fighting ability whatsoever, but he has something. I feel like he alone has something monumentally important for defeating Souboutei. Alright, they're out. We got the sisters back. Whew. We still got one sister to go, and that sister can't be saved. They're gonna have to put her down. But oh my gosh, what a chapter. Like, Souboutei has had this undercurrent of, art is power ever since the start, really. Like, ever since we first got introduced to Takaha, and, he was kind of slumming it. He wanted to make something that his publishers didn't want to put out. But it's been a theme that's come up repeatedly without being, like, the core focus of the series. I really like that. Like, I like the nesting of themes in Souboutei. Nothing feels too forced. It all feels like it's naturally, sliding into place. Okay, there we are. That's the blood vomits. That's what we've been waiting for. I mean, you can't really blame him that much for it. Plus, he did it. It worked. It was pretty good. And he's not that badly off for it. My body moved on its own. Oh. So Kurenai, like, we knew she was warming up to Taka, but now it's like it's even more confirmed. Like, she's finally treating another person as, the way she would treat her own brother. Yeah, I mean, how do we fix this though? Like, they can't go to sleep in Souboutei, and they shouldn't leave. Like, I guess they could. Like, nothing's stopping them from leaving, apart from, the zombies. But, like, I've been thinking about Souboutei, and it feels like they're going to, like, they've gone in. I feel like the rest of the series is going to involve them still being in Souboutei until the end. Like, just because there's so much to it, there's so much more to go down. It would feel weird to be able to retreat and then go back in without Souboutei, like, also attacking the world around it, which can't be the case, because if it starts attacking the world around it, the world's done for. Yeah, Souboutei is a more powerful enemy than we predicted. Yeah, don't you want to get the thing that impregnated your mom a piece of his mind? Don't you want to, get rid of your sister? I mean, it is pretty powerful. Like, even though now we know what they're like what they're truly like, we've seen their backstory. At the same time, to see them not laughing off, to see them, like, legitimately exhausted and acting like they're exhausted is, like, that's a trip and a half. Plus, yeah, fair enough. I mean, I still think he's going to be stopped here, which means I assume that no one's going to be able to get out. But yeah, like, why would Augusto want to stay here? There's nothing here for him. There's no psychic activity. You can't just go home and leave this horrible place behind. Not while there's something so evil here. Guys, do you not understand that Souboutei must be destroyed? I really, really do like this sentiment, though. Like, yeah, I do. I want to leave. This place is the worst. It's so repulsive, disgusting, and scary, scary, scary. It's so scary I want to puke. Yeah, it's them we're talking about. You think we fought enough? They take the thing you most want to avoid, mix it up all gross, and spit it out at you, and all the while they're screaming, surrender your body. Like, I love it. Like, I think this is part of the quality. It's not the whole thing. Part of it's also just, his empathy, his ability to relate to people. But part of it is also just this indignation. This, he's the kind of guy who, like, if someone walks up to you, on the street and slaps you in the face and then walks away, like, Takaha is the kind of guy who would chase after that person. Even if it doesn't really matter, even if, that they're going to just be embarrassed or they're going to, maybe slap him as well. Like, he's not the kind of person who can handle that level of injustice without doing something about it. I want to run away right the frick now, but I won't run. Because I want to see the moment when they lose. I want to see the moment all of you amazingly powerful folks beat them. That's true, too. Like, if Augusto had just left, if he had just gotten on a plane, he went back home, like, maybe he would have emailed back his results, but no, like, that's not useful right now. They need to share information. They need a better idea of what Souboutei's about. Like, why else would they have split up in the first place? It would have been pointless. How can you first-rate power users run away before using that strategy? I love it. Like, that's such a cool way of encapsulating it, like, all of it. I can't leave before this disgusting mansion is destroyed. Like, he's horrified. He wants to get out as soon as possible, but he wants Souboutei to be destroyed way more. And he's not wrong. Like, yeah, if you stay on that side, you'll never turn to Souboutei. Like, who in their right mind would come back to Souboutei? But of course, first person to go in, it's Kurenai, which makes sense, because the whole thing was, she came here because she wanted to, she wanted to destroy it before Okuro gets here. Plus, Rokuro was coming here pretty quickly now. The big question really is, will the others stay? Because I can honestly see any of them leaving and it would be fine. Like, I don't think so. I feel like they're all going to stay. Just because we've spent all this time establishing their powers. But realistically, there's nothing stopping, like, Yadarigi from just saying, nah, I'm going to leave, and then leaving. And then she could be done for the rest of the series. We might not see her until the very end. I don't want to become the type of coward who would abandon the ones who saved my life. Good girl, Floor! Okay, Barrett's. I should probably write that down. Oh my gosh, the Raptors won. Dude, the Raptors won. I know this immediately dates when exactly I'm doing this, but oh my gosh. Dudes, the Raptors won. Okay, so let's get back to Souboutei. So also, it's not just Barrett himself deciding that, yeah, we're going to do this. Like, the entire team is on their side. Aww. Okay. On the occasions we were thrown into the paintings, why did you, without hesitation, come inside to save us? Okay. Fair enough. I mean, it's flawless logic. But also, like, they know, like, yeah, sure, he's dumb, but also, he's the kind of guy who would save them in a heartbeat. Like, if you're gonna follow someone, why not follow him? Yeah, the characters know the way out. Once they went to the other side, my decision was made. C'est la vie. I have no choice. I love that too. Like, I love that he wasn't swayed by emotion there. It is, like, it fits him so well. Like, yeah, at this point, I can't get out even if I wanted to know. Even if I wanted to get out myself. Like, well, that's it. That's so perfect, because it also means that we can have, like, a longer arc with him and Floor, where we finally, like, get him on board, quote unquote. Without having to rush it, I mean. Like, I think that's pretty cool. So the big question is Yadarigi coming along, or is she going to stubbornly walk around as just a separate party member? I mean, I think we all know the answer. Definitely not. Huh. This is basically the same start of the chapter, right? Like, I guess not. I guess it is redrawn. But, it's real weird. Yeah, think about what you're doing, Dr. Augusto. Even you would disobey a direct order. But okay. That does make sense. Like, even if it's not within his field, even though he doesn't care about non-psychic phenomena, like, it still just makes practical sense. All right, anyone start? Tell me about any phenomena you've witnessed or experienced. We're doing it. We're gonna share some data. Chapter 50, data sharing. I do like that because, like, there is a clear mystery here, and one thing I hate about a lot of series that have a big mystery is when they artificially lengthen the time that the audience takes to get information. Not the time it takes for characters to get the information, but when the audience gets it. Because, like, it's very easy to fall into that pattern of, okay, if I let this character know this, then they can do all this other stuff in the background and, do all the setup, and the fans don't have to know about it. The fans just have to speculate, it doesn't matter. I really like a series that is willing, that has enough faith in its mystery to give the audience information and, expect the audience to not completely figure it out. Which is always scary in the, this era, the era of the internet, the era where some random guy on Reddit is probably going to figure out your entire plotline for your entire series within the first 5 chapters. But, like, that just makes a good mystery even better. Like, when it actually manages to be surprising and consistent. To the words of that young man, our hearts remain unbroken. No, we were already broken long ago. So all of these powers were effective, even though they're all so completely different. Yeah, that they're unable to leave the paintings. Sure. Okay, the chemical makeup of the air within Souboutei is different from outside, right? The fireball growing bigger could be thought of as related to the oxygen levels. Okay, so there's extra oxygen. Yeah, they're weak to nitrogen and cannot survive outside the paintings. Sure. Huh. So the demon plaguing this place is weak to nitrogen. Which is, I mean, most of the air in the outside world is nitrogen-based, so what's their big plan then if they want to invade outside of this? Yeah, like, how would you recommend telling them? Our comms are down. Also, like, their original plan of just bomb Souboutei, like, that does a very good job, actually. Like, the whole point of, I mean, we even saw that. Like, it was confirmed that the bombs did take the air in Souboutei and shoot it outside. It caused the air to mingle with outside air. Like, that's, why the plane ended up in the air. Because of that, like, clearly, they could mix up the air again by just bombing the place again. Problem number 1 is, the group is not going to leave. Problem number 2, I mean, I guess that means, like, that also may or may not confirm that, if any invaders were there beforehand, probably not, because if they were, why would they still be waiting on the portal? But if they were, they probably would have been destroyed then in the explosion when fresh air blew into Souboutei. This reminds me so much of Shin Godzilla. Like, um, no spoilers for Shin Godzilla, but like there is a part that involves, like mass use of, big chemicals. It's such a like big corporate thing, or not a corporate, but like it's so not what you'd expect from a movie that's about, blowing stuff up, basically. Like a monster movie, because it's so wide scale. And this feels very similar. Like Souboutei is kind of a monster movie in its own way, where Souboutei itself is the monster. And because of that, like it feels weird to have, like, I mean, to be fair, in chapter 1, we had them literally try to bomb Souboutei from the sky. So, but there's something distinctly different about bombing something versus, like, using chemicals. I don't know quite how to put my finger on it. And because of that too, like because it's so elaborate, it gives me mixed signals. Like maybe it'll work because it's so specific. On the other hand, maybe it won't work at all because, like, they're trying to game the system too much, and Souboutei is not something that can be that easily understood. At the very least, I could see it, destroying the invaders, but not Souboutei itself. The house is getting closer. The house I'm going to destroy is getting closer. Okay, in addition, we still know the most critical points. What does Souboutei want? What is their objective? By the way, I barely remember the note of nitrogen coming up before in the series, but I can't quite remember how it went down. Like, it does sound familiar, but because it's been a while, it feels very fresh. I don't think we got like the full explanation. Okay, it was immediately after I saw Morita get pulled into his painting. I felt the presence of a crowd down below. Oh, is this going to be like the big spiral of zombies? Yes, okay. This we 100% saw before. Many of them held a wooden board in their hands, and some were barehanded. Okay. Their objective is something underground. Like, the easy answer, I guess, would be, like, they made a sinkhole before to get to that portal, so maybe they're trying to portal out again? Or it could be as simple as just that they want to, like, get into the water supply or something. The underground secrets. There, they were lined up like that when I saw them. I mean, why don't they just get the sisters to, like, look down using their scrying power? Yeah, now is not the time to scatter. Like, splitting the party can be useful sometimes, but I feel like everyone needs to be together for this. Also, this is a rough conversation. Like, Josephine, already really bad at conversation, very enigmatic. Floor is Floor. I see, so the doll is 6 years old. That's what Floor said. What does that mean? What is this form of communication? Oh, okay. So she used telepathy, but for what? Okay, so we weren't supposed to see that. Like, there was, like, clearly she was beaming information into their heads, but it wasn't to everyone. Okay. I was confused for a bit there. Just to make sure, try doing telepathy to us again. Okay, so yeah, that's not going to get us around that. So like, Floor's the only one with a cell phone then. Yeah, I mean, that is good. It's better than nothing. But okay, so yeah, those combat-ready psychics. So like, Floor could just send back information. I think that's fair. Yeah, like, we still don't know that much about the Black Arms. I personally, like, because the painter gave them to him, I assume they're going to be, they're dependable. We can assume that Taka can use the Black Arms without any negative repercussions or without them disappearing randomly. But there's always the danger. Like, it makes sense in an in-universe perspective to avoid relying on them. They've already descended 7 stories, more than 30 meters. Where are they going? Okay. So they're digging. What is this guy? Like, is that supposed to be smoke? Because it looks camo. It looks like there's, like, giant camo. Oh, no. Okay, there's someone off screen, like, pulling up dirt. Never mind. I thought something real weird was going on. But, like, they're digging into the ground. Are they digging up the others? Or are those just other zombies, like, on the ground? Yeah, real efficient. Or real inefficient, I mean. In business, we're always aiming to increase our profit margin. One does not have to be an entrepreneur to avoid taking meaningless actions. Matter of my paintings, I assume, originally built on plot of land Kanto, the located on top of, which was, okay, so nothing concrete there, but it's something that terrifies, like, Taka just to think about. The thing buried at the bottom. That means if I'm guessing right, tell him to take out the test tube he used before. What? What? Ah? What do you mean by this, Takaha? What are you doing? What is this supposed to imply? Also, what was the test tube he used before? Like, was it in this batch, or was this, like, way before that? Yeah, what is Soboutei's objective? Because, like, it's super inefficient, but also, like, it makes sense that, okay, like, because they're working so hard. Like, I think that also really helps, like, the fact that they don't have digging equipment, like, that explains why it is that they could be doing this for such a long amount of time without getting that far. Oh, when we came out of the paintings, you went out of your way to take one of those leech things. Okay, we didn't see that. Oh, I assume because, like, if you expose it to nitrogen, it dissipates. So he stuck it into a vacuum sealed tube or something. Oh, it's going to multiply in the water because they want. Oh, they're digging just for water. Like, it's not even just to get into, like, the oceans or anything. It's just to get water at all, maybe. Okay. Back when I peeked them up, they switched around for a little bit, then dissolved. Ah, that makes so much sense. Where is a place with barely any nitrogen? That makes so much sense. Also, no, Kikyo, you're gonna screw it all up. Don't make them stop digging the hole. Although it is, I must bear this bad news upon all of your deaf ears, so maybe they won't react at all when she says this. Okay, over such a long time, its location has changed, degraded. You've been aiming in the wrong direction this whole time. Yeah. Okay. Nothing but 2 meters separates us from the flow. So yeah, they're looking for water so they can grow themselves. That's the whole point. And in water, they can multiply crazy fast. That's such a simple, like, thing too. That makes so much sense. Also, I do love the small like, detail of just, hey, they've been digging for so long in the wrong direction. Jesus. Yeah, so can't survive in Souboutei's air, but even if they do get destroyed when they go into the air, like, if they grow enough in the rivers or in the ocean, like, the world is screwed. Yeah. If that happens, what would happen to the sea? That is, oh boy. Okay, well, things are getting spicy. We have, I think, one more chapter. Oh boy, oh boy. I really, really hope that we end this on them actually getting to Souboutei. Also, Rockero, did you call me? I felt as if my name were called. Ah, alright. She does feel like she's going to be a mini-boss then. Like, they can't save her, and she has extreme power. That said, like, now that she's said that to the dead, like, can she change what they're going to do? Can she control them? Can she tell them to dig somewhere else? Or are they literally deaf ears? Like, is it possible that they can kill her now and then it's just done? It's not going to be dangerous. Or we don't have that immediate danger. That'd be kind of cool. The monsters inside you and your friends can only live in water. Oh, I see. Yeah, fair. Like, you may as well. Like, the information dynamics aren't that bad. Like, none of this is information that they don't already know. So, fair enough. A water vein has much too weak a flow. Ever heard of under drainage? I actually don't know what under drainage is. I've never heard that term before. I assume it's like the sewer system or something, as opposed to, like, a natural body of water. Someone has to tell the outside world of Souboutei's secrets, but no. No. They have to stay here. Like, they can't leave. And I mean, especially Taka. Taka cannot leave until they destroy Souboutei. They're weak to nitrogen. If we only had some nitrogen. I don't know how you would do that, though. I mean, I guess naturally when Pyromary is using her fire, that is using up oxygen in the air. But that just creates more carbon dioxide. It doesn't create nitrogen. Oh my gosh. No, I just realized she has a port. Flora can teleport in nitrogen. All she needs is to know where the tanker is, and she can directly teleport it in. And we did set I didn't forget about it because, it was in this recording session, but it didn't occur to me that, yeah, Seiichi has never used it until now, but in the past, he used to be not telekinetic, but, he had telepathy in a sense. Ah. Heard a voice from inside Souboutei. They need nitrogen. Yeah, it's telepathy. We know that it exists. Come on, don't question him now. Okay, also, Rakuro, come here. Wait, what? Wait, what? Oh, okay. I thought that, like, because we also had this gun here, I thought that someone had attacked the car, but no, it's the opposites. That is amazing. I think I said earlier in this reaction, I'm not going to stop until they get to Souboutei, and he's not in yet, but he's right outside. He's right outside, and there's an actual game plan. Like, I don't know how many more chapters we have that are untranslated, but boy, oh boy, it feels like we're coming to an end game. At least an end game for the, the invader arc. Like, there's still the possibility of they take the nitrogen, they pour it in, Souboutei is cleansed of all the invaders, and then after that, it's still Souboutei. There's still horrible stuff happening. Like, that's not the actual end game. I think that'd be a really cool twist. Because this feels like it could be the absolute endgame, but I don't think it is. Oh my god, Souboutei is amazing. It really is. It is just bonkers good. It might have been a mistake reading this many chapters all at once, because I don't have any, like, overarching thoughts. Also, like, before with my other reactions, I was trying to do more overarching thoughts, but, I mean, I get to stop however I want and talk about stuff in the moments. So I don't think it really makes sense for me to try and, to do a, here's how I felt about this. You know how I felt about it. I felt it as I was doing it. This was a really good mix of things, though. Like, I appreciate that now all the people who went into Souboutei are all basically accounted for. They're either dead, they're possessed, or they're on our side. Like, I feel more bonded to everyone. Like, all the survivors are cool people, or people that I can understand to some extent. We know so much more about Souboutei without it being, like, without it erasing the mystery of the series, which I really appreciate. Like, there's nothing worse than a horror series or a mystery series where, like, all the mysteries have been teased out. It's just, it's basically just sci-fi, or it's just a action series at that point, because all the mysterious things have been explained to death. It's all midichlorians. I'm really glad that Souboutei is not doing that. Like, there's a lot of explanation without taking away the spirit of it, without taking the fear out of it out. That's incredible. What an incredible series. Okay, well, I suppose if there's anything you want to ask me about, leave it in the comments. I will respond to any questions about Souboutei or my thoughts about the series. But I have nothing in my head right now. I am shook. What a... Whew. Yeah, I'm just repeating myself at this point, so we'll leave it there. Thank you very much to Death Toll Scans for taking on Souboutei, for putting out such high-quality releases. I cannot wait to get into more Souboutei. And super duper ultra big thanks to Steak for making this happen, for pulling through this entire time, and for, eventually teaming up with Death Toll. Yeah. Anyways, thank you all so very much for watching. Bye for now. Nya nya.